Hi everybody, it's Brooke from Quagentia, and in this video I will show you how you can get this free point-and-click NinjaTrader strategy from our website at quagentia.com and how you can build it completely without code using point-and-click in Quagentia and Edition. This point-and-click strategy is a trend-following strategy that goes long when the close price crosses above the upper band of a Bollinger Bands indicator and exits when the close price crosses below the middle band of a Bollinger Bands indicator. Let's get started. This point-and-click NinjaTrader strategy is built into Quagentia in Edition, which you can get from Quagentia's website at quagentia.com. On any page of quagentia.com, you can click on this button, Download Free Trial. Then click on the Download in Edition Free Trial button. Then click on this button to download Quagentia in Edition. When you install it on a Windows computer, it will look something like this. Here's the start page with useful links. Here's the Algo Explorer with your algos, including the free strategies from Quagentia, including the one that this video is about, which we will open now. Over 1900 functions that you can use in your strategies and functions. And then my algos folder, which is where you will put your algos, such as the My First strategy, which we built in the 1-hour Introduction to Quagentia in Edition video. Alright, so now I have shown you how you can get the Bollinger Bands long entry on breakout above upper band strategy from the Quagentia website by downloading Quagentia in Edition and installing it, and clicking on the strategies link in the Algo Explorer here, and clicking View Strategy to open it in a tab. I'm now going to show you how you can build it from scratch in Quagentia in Edition using only point and click. To do this, I want to use this built-in strategy as a guide. So instead of trying to imagine what the logic is, we're going to keep it open so we can go section by section and rebuild it from scratch. So let's go ahead and move this built-in strategy to the right side by clicking on this gear icon here and clicking on Move this Algos tab to the tab group in column 2 of the upper row. And let's go ahead and move this splitter bar to the left and hide the Algo Explorer so we have more room. Click on this tab, and let's go ahead and click on the plus icon here and choose Create New Quagentia in Edition Strategy. At this point, we have the built-in strategy in the right pane with its indicator and logic. And we have an empty strategy in the left pane. Let's go ahead and build the logic from the right pane in the left pane. I'm going to copy and paste words so I don't have to type them. Let's copy and paste the strategy name. And I will paste it here. We'll keep the word my in front. So here is Bollinger Bands and here is my Bollinger Bands. So a little bit different. And then for this field, just go ahead and just copy it from over here. We'll keep the word my in front so they're different. If you do this yourself, you can fill out a strategy homepage and description and notes field. Scrolling down to the strategy details section, let's go ahead and make the default order quantity 100 and uncheck the exit on session close checkbox. And then for slippage, we have 2 here, so let's make the slippage 2. That's 2 ticks. Let's scroll down to the input parameters section. So in the built-in strategy, we have 2. We have a Bollinger Band period input parameter and a Bollinger Band number of standard deviations input parameter. Let's copy the names. And the Bollinger Band period, it's the number of bars back for the moving average upon which the Bollinger Bands indicator is based. So it would be a whole number, as you can see here, and the default value is 26. You can change this inside of NinjaTrader, but the 26 will be the default value that appears in the NinjaTrader user interface when you load it. for the second input parameter, called Bollinger Band number of standard deviations, it is a decimal number of default value 2. We already have decimal number 2. And click the Add Parameter button. And that's it. We now have the 2 input parameters for this strategy. Let's go ahead and go down to the internal variable section here and replicate the logic from the right side to the left side. So this is a Bollinger Band indicator. Here's a Bollinger Bands, and it has a blue, green, and hot pink plot. And that's it. So it's one internal variable. Let's do it. So the name is Bollinger Band. The type is an indicator time series, also known as an indicator. And notice how here it's an indicator Bollinger Bands. Let's go ahead and make this Bollinger Bands. To do that, click on the Not Set label. And under indicators, there are over 120 NinjaTrader indicators built into Quagentia N Edition. You can get custom or third-party indicators into Quagentia N Edition, but it is beyond the scope of this video. So here's moving averages, here are oscillators, volatility. But now under here we have bands, envelopes, and channels, and that's where you will find the Bollinger Bands indicator, the Donchian channel, Keltner channel, and a few others. So let's go ahead and click on Bollinger Bands. And then here, you see how here we have standard deviations 2 and period 14. They're hard-coded. These cannot be changed as is from within NinjaTrader's user interface. Whereas over here, we are using the input parameters, boll band period, and here you have the input parameter boll band number of standard deviations and boll band number of standard deviations. Let's go ahead and replicate that logic over here. So to get the period input parameter to replace the 14, click on it. And under input parameters, choose boll band period. And to get these standard deviations to not be a hard-coded 2, but instead the input parameter for that, click on it. And click boll band number of standard deviations. Let's go ahead and add this variable to the internal variable section. And let's set up its plot. So click on the Plot This checkbox. And rather than using the default plotting options, let's go ahead and choose a color for each, a different color for each. So instead of using green, blue, and hot pink, like the built-in one, let's make it something different. Let's say aqua and yellow and red. And we'll make the line width 2 so you can see it in the video. You might like a line width of 1 when you're using it locally on your computer, but 2 looks better in a video. That's it. So now we have the Bollinger Bands internal variable so that we plotted in NinjaTrader and we can use its values in our logic. So let's scroll down to the WinBar update section so we can copy that. So first we have this if the following condition is true, if the market position is flat, and this cross above. So we have an if the following is true. If we scroll down, we have otherwise if something's true. So if something's true, otherwise if something else is true, and that's it. So to get that, let's go ahead and under WinBar updates, let's click on Add Trading Logic, Conditional Trading Logic, if then else, and let's click on the if else if block. Now you have an if block, an if else block, an if else if block, and an if else if else block. And these are not the only possibilities. You can add as many else if blocks as you want to any of these, and you can add an else block to any of these. But for now, we'll just click the very basic simple if else if block. So now this is the entry logic section. This will be the exit logic section. For the entry logic, we need if the current market position is flat for a strategy is equal to true. So let's go ahead and find that. So click on this. Let's type in, I don't know, flat. And here is current market position is flat for strategy. We'll add it. And if it's equal to true. And now we need an and, the close crossed above a time series while the time series shown on the left going up. And we put the Bollinger Band on the upper band on the right side of the comparison. And it's an ANDed expression. So let's go ahead and click this and say add condition after all other conditions using AND. And let's choose a comparison operator that is crossed above. And we have a lot of options here for crossed above, but for this one we're going to choose while time series shown on the left going up. And we want close, so over here we will click set item, and close is under price data because it's open, high, low, close, price data. So here's the open, high, low, close. And then on the right side, we want to get our Bollinger Band's upper band plot for the cross above condition. So click here. That will be under input parameters and internal variables, and there it is, the Bollinger Band entire series internal variable that we just created. Now, because the Bollinger Band has a lower, middle, and upper band, we have to choose a plot name. So here you say plot name, select a plot, and we want to enter if the close crosses above the upper band. So we'll choose upper. Well, that's the entry condition. Let's go ahead and do some actions if the entry condition is true. To do that, click on Add Trading Logic here, and we will enter a long position using a market order, default order quantity, and the signal name is LE. That's fine. Let's go ahead and print something to the output window. And specifically, we're going to print to output window with primary data series timestamp, so we know which bar, we know what the timestamp of the bar was that the information is being printed for. So we will copy and paste the word entry close from over here. We will add a piece of text to this piece of text. And you can see here it's this close of the current bar. Close is under price data, so click on close. And there you have it. So if a long entry condition occurs, in addition to placing an order, there will be the words entry close colon space and then the close price of that current bar. And you will know the timestamp of the bar because this text will be prefixed by the timestamp of the bar. Okay, so the last thing to do when we enter position is to set a background color of all chart panels. So for that, we'll click on Add Trading Logic and draw something. And that's under Colors, and we will choose Set Background Color of all chart panels. And for that, let's choose, bright green. That's it. So we now have our entry conditions, and we enter a position, we print the output window, the timestamp, and we set a background color. Let's go ahead and create the exit conditions. So for the exit conditions, it's if the current market position is long for a strategy, then, okay, so let's do that first. Let's say long. We'll search for it. I know where it is in the context menu, but You might not. So just search for it, and we'll look for current market position is long for strategy. Click on it in the search and click add this function to your algo at the location you specified. And it's equal to true if we are long. Okay. And if the close crossed below the middle band of the Bollinger Bands, then exit. So let's do that. So to get an and here, we will click on this and say add condition after all other conditions using and. And then we will choose the close under price data. And we'll choose cross below a time series. So let's do that. Cross below, and then this the default cross below a time series. We won't choose any of the others. And now we want the Bollinger Bands middle line for the cross below condition. So for that, you go to set item, input parameters and internal variables, click on Bollinger Band, and then you need to select a plot. We will choose the middle line for the cross below. And that is the exit conditions for our strategy. Now let's go ahead and create the actions that occur when the exit conditions are true. So let's get this exit entire long position using a market order. Click on the add trading logic. It's under submit an order. Exit long. Exit entire position. All entries. Okay, so exit entire position, all entries is here, and exit entire position, long position using a market order, all entries. Okay, LX, great. Now we want to print to the output window with primary data series timestamp. Let's go ahead and copy it from up here. So there's a left click on it and say copy. And we will click on add trading logic and click paste. And then change the word entry close to exit, but I'll just copy it from here. And now we need to set a background color of all chart panels. So for that, we could add it from the context menu or just copy it. In retrospect, I should have copied both these at the same time. In fact, I will show you that. To copy more than one action at the same time, click on the first action and say start multi-selection here. Click on the second action and click copy selected items. And scroll down, and we're gonna replace this one with the other two. So we're gonna say paste. Done. So we just pasted these two actions down here. And yeah, sorry, I have to copy the exit close again. So we're done. I would just say we'll change the background color to a light pink. Okay, so that's the strategy. We just created the entire built-in Bollinger Bands long entry on breakout above upper band strategy from scratch by following his logic that we had in the right panel and building it over here in the left panel. Let's go ahead and save this. Here, I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and get the Algo Explorer open again. And I will just move the built-in one way over the right so you can't see it anymore. So we have more space. Great, so here's our strategy. So let's go ahead and save this. So it will go down here. It will be saved into my Algos folder. So to save it, you can click on the save icon or press Control S. And yeah, my bull band, great. So it's ours, and we're going to save it to the my Algos folder. Save. And there it is. My Bollinger Bands long entry on breakout above upper band. Let's go ahead and get this strategy into NinjaTrader so we can backtest and optimize it. Let's first open the appropriate NinjaTrader windows. To do that, first of all, open NinjaTrader. Then connect to the Kinetic end-of-day free market data. And if you do not have a Kinetic end-of-day free market data connection here, you can get to it by going to Tools, Options, clicking the Multi-Provider checkbox, checking it, clicking OK, rebooting NinjaTrader, and then reopening NinjaTrader. And when you do that and you click Connections, you will see the Kinetic end-of-day free market data connection. Done. So we connected to the market data. Now let's go ahead and open the NinjaScript editor. That's very important. When you open the NinjaScript editor, this is where the code goes. You don't ever need to look at the code, but you do need to have the NinjaScript editor open so that when you send the code to NinjaTrader, the NinjaScript editor can receive it and automatically compile the strategy so it can be backtested and optimized. So let's go ahead and also open the NinjaScript output window, which is where our print to NinjaScript output window statements will print their information. And let's also open the strategy analyzer, which is the NinjaTrader backtester. So we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and send our strategy to NinjaTrader by clicking this button titled Generate Code and Copy Code File to NinjaTrader Strategy Code Folder. Click OK. And then in a few seconds, you will hear the sound of success. There it was, which indicates that your strategy's code was received by NinjaTrader and automatically compiled because you had the NinjaScript editor open. Let's go ahead and backtest your strategy now. So in NinjaTrader, open the strategy analyzer. I'll make this wider so you can see everything. And under the strategy, let's go ahead and choose my Q_my bull band. We remember we named our strategy my bull band. So click on that. And default, bull band period, 26 bars back, 2 standard deviations. These are our input parameters that we added to our strategy. Let's choose GLD for the instrument and daily bars. And let's go back to January 2005. Yeah, I think it goes back over 18 years in NinjaTrader, so it's pretty great. And here we have a slippage of 2. It's 2 ticks. And we are not going to exit on session close. So this 2 and the fact that this checkbox is unchecked is because in our strategy in Quagencia N Edition, we chose 2 and we unchecked this checkbox. So by default, those values are transferred over to our strategy in the strategy analyzer. You can change them from the strategy analyzer, so you could say 3 ticks, but by default they are 2 ticks because in our strategy in Quagencia N Edition, we chose 2 ticks for slippage right here. All right, so let's go ahead and run a backtest. It just finished. The profit factor is 1.4 with our default input parameters of 26 and 2. Let's go ahead and look at a chart of our backtest. So here we can see the Bollinger Bands indicator plotted on the chart with a red lower band, a yellow middle line, and an aqua upper band. And we can see that when the close price of the GLD daily bars crosses above the upper band with the close price going up, meaning the close price of this bar is greater than the close price of the previous bar, a long entry order is placed, and in the backtest, it is filled on the open of the next bar, which is the red bar here. And then when the close price here crosses below the yellow middle line of the Bollinger Bands indicator, a long exit order is placed and filled on the next bar. So the red bar is the one that crossed below the yellow middle line, and then the order will be filled on the open of the next bar in the backtest. So it did everything, and here's the here's the bright green background color signifying the long entry signal bar, which precedes the actual long entry bar where the order is filled. And here is the hot pink long exit signal bar, which precedes the actual bar which the long exit market order is filled. So that's it. So we can see here that everything worked correctly and everything drew in the chart. Let's go ahead and look at our output window here. So here's a NinjaScript output window, and you can see here that here's the last entry close was on July 18th, 2023, and the last exit close, the last exit signal bar was on August 2nd, 2023. So this is the NinjaScript output window is a great place to print out information to help you debug your NinjaTrader strategies. So that's everything. So yeah, so even our NinjaScript output window print statements worked fine. Well, that's the backtest. Let's go ahead and see what we can do about this profit factor of 1.4. Let's optimize our strategy by going to backtest type, click on optimization, and let's optimize the Bollinger Band period. Let's make the parameter set from a minimum of maybe 12 to a maximum of 60. And for the Bollinger Band number of standard deviations, let's go from 1.5 to 2.5. And let's increment it by 0.1 each time. All right, let's go ahead and run optimization. Look at that, 539 variations, and NinjaTrader already finished. It just finished, and I didn't speed this up. It's just NinjaTrader optimizations are really fast. Let's take a look. Oh, okay, so it looks like when you optimize the way we did, it looks like here's a profit factor of 2.62, much better than our initial default parameters. And what was that for? That was for a moving average period of 35 right there. And if you can see it in the video, the standard deviations is 2.5. And if this is the top 10 parameter sets. And let's see, it looks like the moving average period, our default was 26. It looks like the best set were higher. They were more like in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And then for the standard deviations, it's kind of all over the map. You have a 1.9 here, you have a 2.5. So yeah, so we could click on one of these back tests. Say here's a 2.601 with a moving average period of 36 and 2.5. And we can look at that chart. And here you can see it's standard deviation of, if you can see it in the video, 2.5 and 36 instead of 2 and 26. So this was a high performing backtest. And that's it. You've now learned how to create a point-and-click NinjaTrader strategy that uses Bollinger Bands from scratch in Quagency N Edition, send it to NinjaTrader, backtest it, and optimize it. That's the end of our video. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please let us know by giving this video a like and subscribing to our channel. And if you loved it, please consider sharing this video. Have a great day.